It is a good day here on the Gary Ayd Show on the Cave. Why is it a good day? We get to talk sports. What else could be bad? I mean, my goodness, the greatest job in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Good to have you aboard here on the Gary Ayd Show. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo, cavetalkradio.com, the Cave Talk Radio app. Download it in Apple or Google Play. And, of course, you can find us on Facebook, Cave Talk Radio NY. We have about 500 followers there, a little bit more, actually, so thank you. And we are live there via Restream, also on YouTube Live. And today's opening rant. Now, I, for one, am a believer in history. I am a huge fan of history, and I am also a huge fan of sports history. Go figure. And one of the reasons when I first became a Laker fan, I was a kid. I mean, I'm talking 6 years old or something like that. And I rooted for them because I liked the color of their jerseys. They didn't know anything yet. Then as I got a little older, I kind of came of age as Shaq and Kobe first started becoming a thing. I was a freshman in high school the year they won their first championship. And so right before that, maybe like 98, 99, somewhere around there, I began realizing, holy moly, for randomly just picking a team at 6 just because I like their jerseys, I picked a good team. Then I started looking into their history. I was like, I picked the second best team I could have picked. It's like, this is great. So and then they started winning and winning. Well, one thing, as I've become more mature as a sports fan and just as a person, I have grown to appreciate about the Lakers. And had I come to basketball at a later age, this could have easily been, with my personal adult sensibilities, a deciding factor in picking a team. I appreciate, and they're one of the only teams that's like this. We talk all the time how the NBA, for some reason, detests its own history before Michael Jordan. Or maybe Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. It's amazing. But the Lakers are one of the only teams that it goes against that narrative. The Lakers absolutely honor their history all the time. And that's one thing I've grown to really like about this franchise. And now, with LeBron on the precipice of breaking the scoring record, he's 35 points away. They got 2 home games, one tonight, one on Thursday. We were talking about this before airtime. He's questionable today. He may play, he may not. My feeling here, Rich, is given who the Lakers are and what I just outlined, they're going to want, maybe even more than LeBron himself will, they're going to want this done. I'm going to call it Staples Center, Crypto Arena, please. I'm calling it Staples Center. They're going to want this done at Staples Center. They are. They're going to want this done in front of the Laker fans at home. They'll make a deal of it because this is what this franchise does. A lot of other franchises might, it'd be cool if it happens at home, but they wouldn't go out of their way. My feeling is, let's say LeBron doesn't play tonight. And as I mentioned, he's 35 points away. He plays against Milwaukee on Thursday at home. Then I believe they have some road games. Let's say he doesn't get to the 35. Let's say he has 30 against Milwaukee or 28. I believe the Lakers perhaps would consider holding him out until their next home game, which, probably isn't the best idea because of the fact that, hey, this is a team that needs, they need all the wins they can get, right? Because they're fighting for their playoff lives. But the Lakers value that stuff so much. I really could see them doing that, which is why I personally would like to see LeBron play tonight and either get this tonight or get so close that he's guaranteed to get it in the next game, basically. Because I think the Lakers care enough about this stuff that they might consider keeping him on the bench, because their next 2 games are after Thursday's game against Milwaukee. They have 2 games on the road, one against Golden State Saturday and one Monday against Portland, before coming back home Wednesday against New Orleans. So personally, I think he's going to get there before that road trip. I really do. But if he doesn't, I'm really going to be paying attention to what the Lakers do as far as how they handle that, because that stuff is important to that franchise. It really is.
Very much so. Very much so. They are steeped in tradition.
They are.
Excuse me. The only issue I have is you need every win you can get right now.
That's right. You absolutely do. And those are two beatable teams on the road. I mean, the Lakers are a beatable team too. I mean, I guess that you could say the same thing in reverse, but those are two games. Golden State's not very good. They're without Curry. Portland is, they're okay, but they're imminently beatable, particularly if Davis plays. I think Davis could have 50 against that front line. I mean, that's not a great team. So that's a team those are two teams you can beat. These two
Portland, they're missing their starting and backup centers.
Yeah. The problem is the teams they're playing right now, like today and tomorrow. Today, Oklahoma City, not a great team, but a team that can score with the Lakers. So you're gonna have to rely on the Lakers defense. Oh God. And then you have Milwaukee, who might be the best team in the NBA. They're certainly one of them. So you have to assume that you're not going to win both of these games today and Thursday. I think with a healthy LeBron, you should be able to beat Golden State and Portland right now.
Agreed.
So you're going to want this done at home. It might not fall that way. The question I have is how much engineering will the Lakers try to do to make it be home, even if it doesn't organically want to fall that way? Because most teams, I don't think, would lift a finger with this. The Lakers are not most teams. This is a team that cares about this stuff on a deep level.
Right.
And I personally believe the reason they've not considered moving LeBron over this last year and a half is because of this record. They wanted this in a Laker uniform. Because you can make a case that you could move on from LeBron if you're the Lakers and, kind of start the clock on rebuilding. But, of course he'd have to kind of sign off on it. And I don't even think that was considered until this was done. What's going to be interesting, you can mark my words on this. If LeBron breaks this record before the trade deadline, which he almost surely will, I think you'll hear some rumor mill stuff about now that the Lakers have gotten the record with LeBron in uniform, it's time to consider trading him. I almost guarantee you're going to see those stories. I'd be shocked if you didn't.
Why?
Because that's just how people think. And I mean, it does make some sense, but it's not going to happen. But I'm telling you, you're going to see those stories. You'll see those in the blogosphere, in newspaper columns. You'll see those in commentary. I'll be very surprised if you don't. But, but it's not, I don't think it's going to happen. At least not by the deadline. I mean, because that's going to be a couple of days. And the truth is, what he brings to you in terms of just gate value, I mean, no one's going there to see Anthony Davis because you got to watch him in his jeans.
Right.
Or in his bubble wrap. We need better bubble wrap. Do they have like industrial grade bubble wrap? Or maybe we get some of those shipping acorns, and put them inside the bubble wrap for extra insulation. I don't know. Gotta do something with this guy. Anyway, got a lot of other stuff today too. Little telltale sign about what the Nets are maybe thinking in terms of the rumor mill around other deals that they may make. Also, Steve Cohen, my man, laying down the law. I love it. Love it. Love it. We got the question of the day.
I was hoping you were going to talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're doing that. We're doing that next. Steve Cohen. We got Kevin Durant stuff. We got Nets stuff. We got top 5 question of the day. We got a bunch of stuff to get to. Oh yeah, there's a Super Bowl in a few days too. We'll get to that probably more tomorrow and Thursday. But right now, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk Steve Cohen, what he say and what it means. That's next. The Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines, plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
Alrighty, we're back. So check this out. One of the things I love about a good owner, and there's so few of them, one of the reasons I've always liked Jerry Jones. I know that's like heresy to say, but the truth is, these guys really, in the grand scheme of things, below God, answer to nobody. They really don't. They beat life. When you own a professional sports team, it means you've won the game of life. You don't have a boss, and you probably haven't in decades. And personally, because that's the reality, I'm a believer that if it's true, it's not bragging, it's not ego, it's just a fact. Like, I remember years ago when, I forget the exact criticism, but someone was criticizing LeBron, and he said something to the effect of, yeah, at the end of the day, you got to go back to your regular life, and I'm still me. And, I see why people find that off-putting, but he's not wrong. You know what I mean? His life is better than mine. I mean, he's right. So I like when owners who have won the game of life will flex a little bit. And this one's a little different with Steve Cohen because he's doing this against other owners. But that's what makes it even better, because the people doing the whining about his spending are other people who have won the game of life, who could, they're not as rich as him, but they're plenty rich enough to try to compete. And basically they're complaining about his spending, and he's not losing over any sleep over it. This is what he said. This is according to CBS Sports. I've heard what everyone else has heard, that they're not happy with me. I hear things from people who are maybe more neutral, that they're taking a lot of heat from their fans. I kind of look at it like you're looking at the wrong person. They're putting it on me. Maybe they need to look more at themselves. I'm not responsible for how other teams run their clubs. I'm really not. That's not my job. And there are disparities in baseball. We know that to be true. I'm following the rules. They set the rules down. I'm following them. Good for you. The hell with these guys whining. Every damn owner in this game could go after Shohei Ohtani if they wanted to. Every last one of them. There's no reason the Pittsburgh Pirates couldn't decide we're going to make Shohei Ohtani a $700 million offer and blow away the market. If they wanted to do that, they could. But they don't, because they're cheap and they're just content to cash that revenue sharing check and bank the money and keep it moving. And you know what? If that's how you want to run your business, it's not really fine, but it's your prerogative. But then don't go out complain, woe is me. Use that money and do something about it. Good for you, Steve Cohen. Tell these clowns. I love it. This guy's the best. He is one of the absolute best things that's ever happened to me as a sports fan. This guy's awesome. I absolutely love him.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh, he's the best.
You can say what you want, but he absolutely knows what he's doing. Everything is measured. Everything is meticulously put down to paper, so to speak.
And he hires the
And
best people.
he does. I mean, he swung for the fences once and missed.
Oh, well, try again.
So what do you do? You swing for the fences again.
That's right. That's right.
And that's just what he's going to do in this Ohtani thing. And
I love it.
if people don't like it, too bad.
Exactly. I love it. I think it's great. And that's exactly what he said. If you don't like it, that's not my problem. Look at yourselves. This is my team. And
He didn't create the rules.
No. And here's the other thing, I think, another way to look at it for people who are maybe, off put by this. Think of it this way. If you had the choice, like let's say we had a fantasy draft of owners and your team had the number 1 overall pick, who are you taking before this guy if you could choose who the owner of your team was? You might hate him all you want if you're a fan of the Marlins or the Diamondbacks or whoever. But if you're honest with yourselves, if you had the choice of owners right now, probably across all sports, but certainly in baseball, you had your pick of owners. How many owners are you choosing before Steve Cohen? Probably none.
Not many.
If any. I mean, really.
I'd probably consider Balmer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In that category.
Yep. If we're going across all sports. Yep. Absolutely.
But in baseball, no one.
No one. Right. Yep. Yeah, there's probably a couple across sports. I think Ballmer's one of them. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I think Jerry Jones is a great owner. I really do. I think Mark Cuban is a pretty good owner. But yeah, no, I mean, Steve Cohen's in an elite class of owners. Like if I was picking an owner of my favorite team, he's on a very short list. That's across all sports. In baseball, he stands alone. There's no one in his. I don't even think it's not even a hard decision. I mean, I couldn't even think of a guy that I'd even really consider as that. And now to be perfectly fair about it and truthful, it's not like I know every owner in baseball. I don't. So obviously I have some bias just from my lack of broad knowledge. But the way I look at that is if there was an owner of Cohen's caliber and temperament in, say, Baltimore or Arizona or Pittsburgh or Cincinnati, I would know the person because they would be making statements that would make me know them. You know what I mean? Like they would be a national figure. So the fact that I don't know these people tells me that they're not overly impressive, that they don't stand out.
If you don't know them, some people say that's a good thing.
I understand.
I say not really.
Yeah.
If I know them, that means they're either making moves or making waves.
Right.
And I like it.
Yep. I mean, I guess it is true that you could know an owner for the wrong reasons. Donald Sterling. There's certainly those, but more often than not, yeah, the name owners are owners who have done generally good work. I do agree with that. So no, I read this the other day and I was like, yes, go. I was like rooting for him. I wanted more in the article. I wish it was 2,000 words because I was like, keep going, Steve. Tell him. Oh, it was great. I absolutely loved it. I really did. So anyway, our buddy Sam Amico, great NBA writer, Hoops Wire, used to write for a lot of different publications. One of
my favorite people too.
He's awesome. Yeah. He's got a lot of interesting stuff on the Nets thinking around rebuilding around Kevin Durant. So it's clear from reading his stuff that even though none of that has happened yet, the Nets mindset is let's retool around Durant. We're not gearing up to reset and trade Durant, nor are we trying to go with a youth movement around him. We're trying to rebuild. That is their mindset. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We'll look at some of the things that Sam is hearing and kind of grade it out, discuss it out. A lot to get to on that front. More trade stuff. Also, the trade deadline coming up in a few days. We'll look at some of these other teams. We'll take a look at the question of the day. A lot to get to. The Gary Ayd Show back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo. So Sam Amico has the Nets really being active in trade talks, particularly with Toronto. It almost sounds like both teams just want to trade each other's team to the other. The Nets are looking at Siakam, Van Vliet, Anunoby. Toronto's looking at Spencer Dinwiddie. They're looking at Ben Simmons. But basically, they're looking at everyone other than Kevin Durant on the Nets roster. Nick Claxton.
Why are they looking at Ben Simmons? Nick Claxton would be a good pickup for the Raptors.
Maybe Toronto feels like I was saying the other day, anyone interested in Ben Simmons has to feel we can fix this. That's the only explanation. Right. I mean, because I guess it is in him. You know, we've seen it. So I understand where some team with a big ego or a high opinion of their own abilities could think, oh, yeah, we can fix that. I wouldn't do it, but I get it. I think
I wouldn't either.
I think Ben Simmons is such a mental case. He's so soft mentally and emotionally that I don't think it's the right thing to do. But who knows? But yeah, so they're really looking very deeply at acquiring other players. And this tells me that the Nets are not done with this experiment yet, which
it would have to be a blow me away offer to get Siakam.
Yeah, you would think so.
Anunoby and Van Vliet are available. And man, Dinwiddie could crush it in one of those spots.
Yeah, he could.
Crush it.
Yep, I agree.
Man, Anunoby would be another defensive guy if they keep Finney Smith.
Yep. I don't know. See,
because they did, defensively, they added with Finney Smith, but they could use another wing defender.
See, the problem with the Nets right now, I think, is when's Durant coming back? First of all,
could be 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a long time, and
it is.
And the other thing is, because now they don't have Kyrie Irving, and it wasn't like they had that one big burst that got their record into a decent place, but it's not like they're 10 or 15 or 20 games over 500. What are they right now? They're I just saw them today. Where the heck are? Here we go. The Nets sit today at 32 and 21. Okay, so they are 10 games over. They're 11 games over 500. Without Durant for 2 more weeks, if they play, they play probably about 5 games or so still before the All-Star break. I mean, they could be sitting, on a 5 or 6 game losing streak. I just have a hard time seeing them scoring without Durant and without, of course, Kyrie is no longer there. Unless Ben Simmons wakes his butt up and becomes a 15-point a game guy and the head of the snake. Like what
I think
that's not happening. But I know that's not happening.
Yeah, I think you're
but where are they getting
beating
points
a dead horse with that? You're better off counting on Thomas throwing in points than Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, where are you getting points from? I mean, Thomas, yeah, he's been a revelation for 2 games.
Okay, what if he can? And it's going to slow down, obviously. But I mean, what if he throws in the high 20s?
Well, there you go. There's your answer. Hopefully that's the case.
I mean, I would count on that kid, and I know they liked him when they drafted him. I would count on him much more than I would counting on Simmons.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just saying I don't really feel confident in sustaining this. But the good news for the Nets is you do have the All-Star break coming up.
Well, remember what you said just a couple of weeks ago? The last guy on an NBA bench can score.
That's true. That's a good point. It's true.
And can play.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, like I said, they drafted this kid. All of a sudden,
they need him to.
He's doing what they paid him to do.
Yep. Yeah.
And why not?
And the other good news is that they do have the All-Star break coming up.
Yes.
Which is good. Look, I mean, it is clear beyond measure that Sean Marks and company are married to Kevin Durant. I mean, there's the minute they moved him would be the minute of admitting complete failure. And
oh yeah, I mean, already this super team has been blown up.
Oh, it's already a failure, but you still have the last vestige of it with Durant there.
Right, and I'm not going to label it a success or failure until he's gone.
Right. Well, you're not going to. Yeah, that's like final. That's like game over. Right now, you have 1 life left. You've used 9 of your 10 lives in the game. You're on your last line.
Yeah, you need an energy pill or something.
Yes, you need to run the table now and get some.
You need to pick up some gold doubloons to continue to move on in the game.
That's right. That's right.
And with those trade chips, they might get a gold doubloon. You never know.
That's it.
If they could score a Van Vliet or Anunoby, that's nice.
Yeah, I agree. That would be nice.
And they must have had something in mind when they drafted Thomas. Who knows? Like I said, I don't think he's going to throw in 40 every night. But what if he gets you? What if he settles in when Durant's back and gets you 19, 20 every night?
Yep.
It's found money.
It is found money. Looking at the other team in town, the New York Knicks, they have a game tonight against the Orlando Magic. No big rumors with them. They seem to be kind of riding it out here a little bit. Nothing sizzling on the hot stove with them. Although
I'll move Cam Reddish and get it over with. I get free him.
You know what would be funny? And I actually think this would probably work almost money-wise because neither's on a huge deal. What if you just traded him straight up to Phoenix for Jay Crowder? Both fit the other better. Just an even swap.
To me, that moves Phoenix up a bit in the West.
It does. And it helps New York a lot because Crowder will fit into what Thibodeau's doing, and they can just kind of roll with it. Just do the swap. We did that a number of years ago. We did a pet trade. We got a dog that wasn't working out in the house, so my neighbor needed to get rid of a kitten, and we needed to get rid of a dog, so we traded the dog, and we got Toby. So we ended up with our station mascot.
You have not had good luck with dogs, have you?
Well, I just had the one dog. He's the only dog I ever tried to have. So he was we got him from like a puppy mill too. He was kind of a rescue.
Yeah, but didn't you have another one like a year or two ago?
No, this is the same one. This is the same one.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize Toby was that new to the house.
No, he's been here for like 5 years or so. That's the only one I ever had though, was that one dog.
Okay.
Yeah. I had
Man, that seems like yesterday.
I know. Yeah, Toby's gonna be 6 in April, so we've had him since he was about, I don't know, 5 months old or so, 6 months old. So yeah, we've had him for the better part of 6 years. Guess we got him in 2016, maybe. Yeah, so because we were in this house and we didn't buy this house until August of 16. So it was probably like either like late that year or early in 2017 that we got him. So, but yep, that's how we got our station mascot, as a pet trade. So let's do an NBA trade. Let's trade one problem for another. My problem could be a solution for you. Your problem could be a solution for me. Let's do it.
It works.
I think so. Hello, Natalise. How you doing in the chats? Welcome aboard. So, all right, let's take a look at this game real quick. Knicks and Magic. Obviously, this is a winnable game for the Knicks. They need to start stringing a few together again. They've been playing very blah basketball for about a month now, up and down, in and out. You want to see them put maybe 5 out of 8 together or 3 out of 5, something like that, because they're really not playing great basketball right now. And this is a team that they should be able to beat pretty handedly, I would expect.
Yes.
Like, I don't want a close game tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see 110 to 95, or I want to see 115 to 100. Like, I don't want to see a nail biter. Like, beat this team. This game should be a relatively easy win. Orlando is not a good team. They have one really good player in Banchero. Like, you should win this game by double digits if you're the Knicks. You really
should. You play defense. They don't.
Yep.
There's just a lot there that adds it up to being a good, solid win.
Yep, absolutely.
And yeah, I think they absolutely think they absolutely do it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to win this game. A couple other games tonight while we're
They need to. You do not want to get too far into the play-in bracket. You don't want that.
No, definitely not. While we're on the topic of games tonight, there's 6 games altogether in the association. We mentioned the 2 locals. Other games on the docket tonight: Atlanta, New Orleans, Minnesota, Denver, Oklahoma City, and the Lakers, Chicago and Memphis. All these games have some degree of interest in them one way or the other. New Orleans and Atlanta is intriguing because they're both sort of like middle of the pack teams right now.
Yes,
that game could go, that could be one of those games that neither team looks exciting on paper, but could end up being like a really fun, compelling game, because I think both teams are about the same quality. Both teams have some injuries to key players. Ingram back on the doubtful list. Valanciunas is there with them. Of course, Zion is still out. Trae Young is questionable. So a lot of names on that injury report. But the game I'm interested in tonight, outside the locals, is the Thunder and Lakers, because like I mentioned, if LeBron's playing, which is questionable.
Why? I haven't been able to find anything on why that's questionable.
Yeah, I don't really know. I really don't. But I'll tell you this: he's 35 points away from the record. There's no way I'm missing a LeBron game right now. Like, it's not happening.
Right. And game too for anyone on the Nets. So Suns and the Nets.
Sounds like we're losing Rich here. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll try to get him back during the break. The connection sounds like it was failing, but yeah, 35 points is all LeBron James needs to break the all-time scoring record held forever by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Pretty exciting stuff. I mean, really, it's awesome. I think this is the type of record that really you just want to celebrate when it's being broken because it's such a huge deal. It really is. I mean, Kareem has held this record for 38 years. I mean, in the whole 75-year history of the NBA, a little bit more than that now, there's been, I think, 6 guys that have at any point had this record. It's a very, very impressive record. He's got the left ankle soreness is what has LeBron listed as questionable for today. So anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll come back, top of the hour. We'll get you into the top 5. We got the question of the day, news you can use in the second hour, a lot to get to. The Gary Ayd Show back after this here on The Cave. All righty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, cavetalkradio.com, the Cave Talk Radio app. Great to have you aboard, Gary Ayd, Rich, and Selmo. Hour 2 coming up. A lot to get to this hour, but of course we start the hour with the top 5.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for King Talk Radio's Top 5.
There we have it. Thank you very much, Jack George. And what do we got for the top 5 today, Rich?
Today, we're going to look at Super Bowl commercials.
Oh, jeez.
Name me your top 5 best you've ever seen.
Okay.
And you got years to pull back from.
This is going to be hard because I'm very often not really the best at remembering these. So this is going to be challenging. But I'm going to give it a shot. So it's almost a guarantee that I'm not necessarily going to remember the product it was advertised for always. But I'll do my best. So there was one, I think it was Budweiser or Bud Light. It was a woman trying to convince her husband to come home and spend time with her. And basically she was doing all these things like, yeah, I made your favorite food. I did this. We're watching this on TV. I'm not wearing any clothes. And then she's like, I got Bud Light. And he comes flying from wherever he's coming from, slides down the bed and out the window, grabbing the 6-pack on his way out and starts drinking in the trees.
I remember that.
Yeah, so that was a funny one. That one stands in my mind. I also liked the Real Men of Genius commercials, which were more known on radio, but they had a Super Bowl airing as well, sticking with Budweiser. Let's see. Oh, looks like we lost Rich again here. I think, Geico's had a bunch of them. If I remember correctly, that Hump Day commercial may have originated in the Super Bowl, and that's a classic. So that's another one. Let's see. Just trying to think of some others. I mean, there's been a lot, but like I said, I'm not the best at remembering these. Anyone in the chats want to chime in on this? Feel free. Favorite Super Bowl commercials. I love Budweiser commercials. I always thought they were so funny and so amusing. Let's see what else we got. It was funny. There was a commercial. I think it was for was it Verizon? But there was a commercial where the guy was, I remember it was. It was that, no, it wasn't Verizon. It was Sprint. There was a guy walking up and down the stadium steps. Can you hear me? Good. Can you hear me? Good. He went to all these like exotic places. I think they took him to like the pyramids of Egypt. He was like in a tomb or something. Can you hear me? Good. It was pretty funny. Yeah, that was Sprint. That's what that was. There we go. I think Rich might be back now.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
It's funny. I left without going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I think Sprint, that was a funny one. Man, do you have a couple? Because this is tricky for me. I've named a few.
I know the Geico with the caveman.
Yeah, those are so good.
The Budweiser frogs.
Oh, I forgot about those. Yes.
I know Budweiser's more exclusive now, but years ago, Miller had one. A beer commercial for the second hardest decision, the second most important decision you'll ever have to make in your life, but they never told you what the first was. and that was funny. It was just very funny.
That's awesome. They could have had Larry Bird as the pitch man for that. That's like the only beer he drinks is Miller. Very
true.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'll say this, and I don't remember the particular commercial, but I read about the story of it in a business trade years ago. The most impactful Super Bowl commercial ever, perhaps, for a business was Under Armour. They ran a Super Bowl commercial about 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. And essentially what I read was the company at the highest level, their founder and CEO, decided that they were going to go all in on a Super Bowl commercial to try to either make the company a national brand or basically go under. So they pretty much went all in on this commercial. And from that point forward, they were in the conversation with like Nike and others in the apparel business. So like
Right,
in terms of
right.
impact, that was probably near the top of the list. Usually we think of Super Bowl commercials as like funny or amusing, but you know what's interesting too? I wonder over the next so many years, I should probably pay closer attention to these now because with so many things being quote unquote off limits to like talk about or make fun of, it's gonna be harder and harder to make these commercials. It really is because I mean you can't make fun of things anymore. Like people don't have a sense of humor with themselves or their own group or whatever. Like
Right.
you know that it's hard. It is.
And it drives me crazy because lately the commercials have had a lot more pathos, which there's nothing wrong with. But it's just the humor hasn't been there as much, although Doritos has done a fairly good job.
One of my favorite broadcast moments of all time, which is funny because I don't watch the sport hardly at all. But one of the bowl games a number of years ago, college bowl games, it was the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Came down to like the last play, and it turned out to be Brent Musburger's last game with ESPN ABC, and he was calling the game. And the team with the ball, if they score, they won. If they didn't, they lost. And Musburger, as he gets ready to snap it, goes, "This one's for all the Tostitos."
Oh, jeez. That's funny.
In that great voice of his. It's like, oh, this is awesome.
That is funny.
I'll remember that forever. So yeah, putting these together, that one with Budweiser with him sliding on the bed absolutely stands in my mind. As does the Real Men of Genius commercials. Those were awesome.
Yeah, those were hilarious.
I loved those. I listened to them on the radio for years after that. Because that was a long-standing campaign. Those went on for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
You had that. I liked the commercial with the I forgot about the frogs. Budweiser seems to dominate this list.
Yeah, although Miller Lite did for a while with Madden and a cast of characters.
Yeah, Madden was always good. If you were Madden as a pitchman, you were in good shape because he was, I mean, the definition of personality right there. Loved John Madden. Just the best. Absolute legend. Let's see. Oh, how could I forget? Hump Day?
Yeah.
I love that one. That debuted as a Super Bowl commercial. I do believe.
And that's still used, believe it or not.
I still see it sometimes. And then no, it wasn't a Super Bowl commercial because one of my other favorite commercials was a State Farm commercial with it was like Damian Lillard, Kevin Love, Chris Paul, Kevin Garnett, and DeAndre Jordan.
Oh,
dressed as like a family or whatever. And Garnett was like the grumpy old grandpa, and DeAndre Jordan pretended to be like the teenage prissy daughter, and Kevin Love was like the rebellious son, and Chris Paul was like the straight edge son, and they're like, "Mama, someone stole my rings," and Garnett's like, "You ain't got no rings."
Yeah.
He's like, "Someone changed his baby." Ugh. He pushes Damian Lillard, who's like the baby, aside with his foot. Oh, I love that commercial.
And Kevin Love with the dimes.
Yeah, dropping dimes. If Chris Paul would be like, "Where you get all them dimes from?" Oh, I love that.
There have been some. Yeah, that series was
was all downhill from there with Chris Paul's State Farm commercials. Like, it was kind of funny the first time or two when all the bad stuff kept happening, and he's like, "Oh, come on, stop. No, like, didn't trust it." But like, now it's kind of worn out. I loved that one though, with the group of them. That was so funny. Someone stole my rings.
It was very funny.
Oh, good times. All right, well, there you go. That's a pretty good list.
Did you rank them?
Yeah, we're going 1, Budweiser, person sliding on the bed. 2, I'm going.
I forgot about that one. That's great.
Yeah, that was a great commercial. 2, I'm going with I think also Budweiser, Real Men of Genius. 3, I'm gonna go with the Geico, the caveman commercial. You know, another one, I think this was Super Bowl too. Aflac had a commercial with Yogi Berra in it. And he was sitting in a barber shop getting a haircut, talking to the barber about having just recently bought Aflac insurance and talking in his yogiisms, right? He says, you get this insurance, so if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
I liked that one too. That's, I think it'll be 4 for me. That commercial was great. I might even put that at 3. I loved that commercial. Yogi was so great. Just so great. Like, he could have made his whole career as a TV pitchman if people knew him before baseball. Like, he was so good at it. A lot of these guys are just on there because they're famous, and certainly Berra got there because he was famous, but like, he had the chops to do that, like, as a primary vocation. Like, he was actually really great at it. Peyton is great at it too. But let's see. So that's going to be the top 4. And then the 5th one. I guess we'll go with the Frogs. So a lot of Budweiser on this list.
They made good ads.
Yeah, they really did. So there you have it. That is the top 5 today. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll do the question of the day. We got news you can use, and we got more trade talk to get to. We got to do a few other teams as we go through the trade deadline preview in the NBA. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you are ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show. It's great to have you aboard, Gary Ayd, Rich, and Selma. We're going to try to get to the radio question of the day here in a little bit. Just trying to actually access it real quick. But one thing I did want to say about Super Bowl commercials is they're very much like they're very controversial in the advertising business because there's a lot of question as to their efficacy at actually driving ROI for the money you spend on it. Not so much because of what they cost. I mean, because the audience you're reaching in terms of size and scope is unquestionable. It's completely unparalleled. But people don't often remember what you're advertising. They just, they're looking at the commercial almost like a mini show, right? That's the expectation with these. So it's like, can you achieve real business objectives with them? Or is it purely just a, we have extra money, so we're going to, an ego buy? A lot of these, I think, are that, because Budweiser can afford to drop 30 million or whatever. It's no big deal.
True. True. They can absolutely afford it.
I haven't looked in a long time what their portfolio is right now, Budweiser, in terms of, I would imagine they've probably bought a lot of microbreweries over the last several years because that whole microbrewery revolution, I'm sure, is eaten into a lot of their margins and profits. But unless they bought a bunch of them, then I guess not so much.
Yeah.
But
and look, a lot of companies are going to be priced out. What are the commercials going for now?
Yeah, I think they're like $5 million or something like that for a 30-second spot.
I heard 7.
7? Okay, yeah.
This year, which is, for a lot of companies, you're going to get nothing but big names.
Oh, yeah.
Because most medium-sized companies don't have that kind of advertising.
Right, and that's just the media time. You got to factor in the cost of production, too, which is probably going to double or triple that. You're probably looking
at a lot of these people, look at the directors they hired, too. They're names.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. I would bet you that $5 million commercial, and that's just the entry point. That, I'm sure that's not the highest price you could pay. I'm sure, like, based on where your commercial is and all that stuff, it can go up from there. You could probably spend $100 million between production and media time on a single Super Bowl ad pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think if you bought like prime space and, went all in with the production, you could get close to that $100 million mark for one ad.
Easily.
I think so.
And you hire Spielberg or somebody,
right. Exactly.
I'm sorry, I can't help but laughing. There was a film competitions on a Simpsons episode. And Mr. Burns wanted to cheap out, so he hired a Spielbergo from Mexico because he didn't cost as much.
That's awesome. That's absolutely hilarious, actually. That really is funny.
But yeah, the directors they hire for these cost a lot of money.
No, they do.
The commercial itself, not so bad, but it's amazing what they spend. But they wouldn't spend it if they weren't effective.
Yeah, well, because what it is what they do. What you're getting is you're getting the ultimate in mass reach. It's the ultimate in mass marketing, right? Like, there's nothing else on the planet, probably, certainly in the country, that reaches the percentage of people in an engaged, dedicated way that the Super Bowl does. You're talking in a great year, you might reach half the country.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. Like, literally 140 million or 125 million. That's what are going to watch this thing.
True.
It's like I said, it's about half the country, just a little less, 30 to 40% of the country, like, if not higher. It's crazy. So there you have it. All right. Well, here's the question of the day.
The New York Rangers left their pride in the locker room. I am KO, back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, you may qualify for a free continuous glucose monitor system. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM systems can automatically manage your diabetes better for you. And by using a CGM system, you can eliminate forever one thing most people with diabetes hate the most: finger sticks. Now it's possible to manage your diabetes better, end the painful finger sticks, and get a new CGM monitoring system at little or no cost to you. We even provide in-home delivery and do all the insurance paperwork for you. Now is the best time to manage your diabetes better and get your continuous glucose monitor. Call now for details. Call 800-438-1391, 800-438-1391, 800-438-1391. That's 800-438-1391. Paid for by U.S. Med.
The New York Rangers failed to follow through on their promise to wear Pride-themed gear for a recent matchup with the Vegas Golden Knights. NYC Pride said the Rangers' decision not to don the Pride gear was a major disappointment to the LGBTQ+ community in New York and beyond. NYC Pride has since conferred with the Rangers and NHL leadership on the ways in which the organization can work toward inclusivity. Question: which commemorative hockey jersey would you be most likely to buy at a charity auction? Pride, BLM, or women's rights?
None.
I know the auctions are for a good cause. But they're warm-up jerseys. You wear them before the game in the skate. That's it. I would rather just donate to a cause than bid on a jersey.
Yeah.
So my answer would be none. If I want a jersey, I'll get a real jersey.
Yeah, I mean, there's that element of it too, and for me, all three of those particular examples are nothing but social constructs to divide people based on race, ethnicity, and gender, and I'm never in favor of supporting that. So, to me, I wouldn't do anything for any of those three organizations, because I believe they're divisive and corrosive in nature at their core. It might not be the mental intent of some of the people that believe they're doing good with those things, but it's the outcome of all of them. To me, the ultimate opposite of unity and the ability of people to get along is, special interest groups like this that are based on their naming and their purpose, designed to advance the interests of only one type of person or group of persons or whatever. And they can say all they want that it's inclusive, anyone can join and all that stuff. I had a personal experience with this stuff many years ago, long before any of those three groups really existed. I was in college, and I remember trying to get involved in the student affairs. I was trying to get like a true intramural basketball team going because we didn't really have one. And so in the process, I got to know the director of student affairs a little bit, and I got to know some of the other organizations under that umbrella, under the student association. Well, one day I happened to come across a meeting room, and usually when they were in service and use, they would put like a placard outside to say, what group was meeting in there. And so I look, and it says the Black Student Union, or the Black Student Union. That's what it was. And it's like, well, wait a minute, we have the Student Union. So one of them, one of the people in the group there comes up to me and, asks me to join. I said, well, no, I'm not welcome. And they say, you are. I said, no, I'm not. I said, the very fact that this exists tells me that you are promoting something that is designed to be exclusive, because we have a student union. So to me, if you want to have a group like this, it should be, there should be no need for it. There isn't a need for it. It creates division. So I would never pay anything for any of this stuff. Not a penny. But now I know there was a thing in the NHL a number of weeks ago where there was a player who didn't want to partake in something of this nature because it was against his views, and the NHL more or less backed him, which I was surprised and happy to see.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so that was good. This seems to be the opposite of that, although the NHL doesn't seem to be involved in this one, which is fine. But Yeah, this stuff bothers me. It really does, because like it's nothing but divisive in the long run, is what it really comes out to be. So, Dwayne Dedman going to the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, great.
I was under the impression that again, these were still choices.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess yeah,
and I guess as a team, the Rangers made a choice.
Yeah, I mean, and as long as they're actual choices, that's fine. My experience with these type of groups, particularly,
well, they seem to make a choice not to wear them.
Right. Which that surprises me, and pleasantly so, because like my experience with a lot of these groups has been they put a lot of pressure on people to make choices that favor them, and so that's not real. Being coerced into something isn't the same as having a free choice. We all know that. So
right.
I'm surprised the Rangers took the other approach here. I really am.
The Rangers seem to make their choice.
Yes, they did. So that which is good to see. And I give the NHL a lot of credit for not bowing to these mobs, because that's been the normal response across multiple layers of higher society, larger organizations. They should just kind of give these people what they want for fear of bad publicity. I commend the NHL for basically standing on the concept of freedom of choice. Very, very much complimentary of their decision to do that. It's really impressive. Just the same way I was with Adam Silver years ago when he stood up and said, we might not agree with what Maury said or what he didn't say, but it's his right to say it. And he never backed down from that. And I gave Silver a lot of credit for that. I give Bettman and the league a lot of credit for this.
Yeah.
It's probably the most impressive thing I've known Gary Bettman to do in all the years I've known about him. It's just because it takes a little bit of courage to do this in this current climate. So,
and Silver showed it in the China incident.
Yep. And that's the way
by backing Daryl Morey.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry. In both cases, we have freedom of speech / freedom of expression in this country.
That's right. And while I understand we don't have freedom of consequences, that's always the popular retort, and that's true. But that doesn't mean that just because someone disagrees with you, you should try to create the consequences of that disagreement to be so punitive that they're afraid to disagree with you in the future. That's not right either. Look, someone like the classic example with this, Chick-fil-A saying that, they don't believe in gay marriage is not the same thing as Chick-fil-A saying we hate gay people. That's not the same thing at all. They never said that. They said they don't believe in the concept of gay marriage. And that's not hateful. That's not even really discriminatory. That is, I don't personally believe this. And that's fine. It should be fine. And that's what we have to get back to. And the NHL is doing the country, in my opinion, a great service by backing these type of things. They really are.
Yeah, I've heard no blowback to the Rangers at all.
Yeah, no, that's really good. It really is. So, a good question. Touchy question.
Yeah.
Getting a little frisky today. I like it.
Yeah, but me, quite simply, I'll buy what I choose and support who I choose.
That's right. That's it.
And I'm not going to criticize any organization. I just choose who I support.
Yep, exactly. 100%. No, that's good stuff. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to some other NBA trade stuff. We got a few teams to get to. I think we left off with Miami. We started that division, so maybe we'll go through that division. And we got news you can use. We'll be back after this. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines, plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on. You watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then, if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All right, we're back. So let's take a look, shall we, at the Southeast Division. We talked about Miami. We got Atlanta, Washington, Orlando, and Charlotte, because two of these teams are relatively irrelevant. Let's just bunch all four of them together today and finish that division. Atlanta is the most interesting of the group. They have and I've thought for really several years now, since they've had this current roster, I don't know what to make of them. I think they're a blah team that got one really hot streak a couple of years ago, made that unexpected run. But I don't think they're capable of anything close to that with this current roster. Again, I would certainly make changes. The question is, to what degree and to what end? I mean, John Collins is always a weird player to me. Trae Young seems to have some discontentment. I mean, because they're not bad enough that I'm like inclined to blow it up, but their two best players, one is a malcontent right now that is not, in my opinion, good enough to tolerate that. And Collins, their second best player, is so weird and hard to pinpoint. He's kind of like a smaller version of Julius Randle. Like, I don't know what to do with them. So I want to trade both of my top two guys, but I also don't want to blow it up. That's why this is a tough spot. I don't know which way to go with this, to be honest with you. If I'm
if you're wondering whether you should blow it up, you should probably blow it up. Because it's obviously not there. It's obviously not working. Tear it down. Because the worst thing, and so many teams love to do it, because they sell hope year after year, and you wallow in mediocrity, it's only a matter of time before mediocrity turns to different levels of suck. It is. Yeah. It's not going to get better because you don't have A, the draft picks, or two, the resources.
See, maybe what I would do, the more I'm thinking about this and listening to what you're saying,
I don't think you're going to get back a haul for John Collins.
Well, no, I agree. What I was going to say is I would almost start with moving Trae Young. Like, would for example, just throwing it out there, another team that's active in trade talks. Would Toronto trade, say, Anunoby and Van Vliet for Trae Young?
No. Why would they?
Well, I mean, look, he's a proven elite scorer. They struggle on offense. They're moving those guys anyway. I mean, isn't Trae Young a better deal than Spencer Dinwiddie? I think he is. I mean, because that's what they're talking
I don't
about.
know. I think Trae Young's more trouble than he's worth. And I think I don't think he'd do Toronto any better.
Okay. Yeah, because I
really don't.
I think you'll get a significant haul for Trae Young. While I generally agree that he's got issues and he's a flawed player, he's still.
And I'm not going to give up 2 starters for him.
Yeah, I think
he's a volume shooter.
Yeah, I think he'll acquire at least that in a trade. I really do. I think the league will value him higher. But
okay.
And that's where I would start, I think, if I was Toronto, because I don't want to blow it up. And maybe if I build a team that's more well-rounded, maybe Collins' long-term role becomes more evident. And easier to kind of set. So if I was Atlanta, that's where I would start. Washington is another.
I probably wouldn't, but I mean, he thinks he's Steph Curry, and he's not.
No, he's much closer to Damian Lillard than Steph Curry, but he's not even Damian Lillard.
He's not even close to Lillard. He's a volume shooter. He takes a lot of shots and he hits some. Now, the real trade news.
Yes.
Furkan Korkmaz.
Oh, God.
Has asked the 76ers to be traded before the deadline.
How does he get the right to ask anything?
This guy's barely in the league.
Yeah, who is this guy? Like, I'm gonna hold out.
But it's true. He is asked to be traded. And I'm like, what?
Cut his ass. What are you gonna get for him anyway?
There's certain requests. There's certain requests you don't make because they don't match your talent level. This is one of them. It makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, really?
You're higher on Trae Young than I am.
Yeah, no, I'm not high on him.
If I'm a GM, I don't do it. I don't give up 2 starters for that guy. Because again, I will continue to wallow in mediocrity.
What I'm saying is I believe the league is going to value him at least that level, if not higher. I personally don't value him that way. But I'm telling you, these type of guys are valued by teams because they are popular. A lot of teams fall in love with the flashiness and the scoring, and he's still relatively young. There'll be a team that believes that by changing scenery, he'll do better. I'm telling you, if they decide to move him, they're going to get a minimum of a starter and 2 first-round draft picks at an absolute minimum.
Wow.
I'd be shocked if it was less than that.
And they can have it. They can have it. I would love to use an old Yogi Berra-ism, as you were talking about during the top 5.
Yep.
I would love to trade Trae Young for what he thinks he's worth more than trade for him at what he's really worth. I would move him, but I wouldn't take him.
Right. There you go.
Hey, Yogi said it.
That's right. Yogi. Well, my favorite is I didn't say half the things I said. Because, Garagiola made a lot of these up.
Oh, yeah. I like what Yogi said. Oh, nobody goes to that place anymore.
It's too crowded.
You can't get in there. Yeah.
Yeah, no one goes there. It's too crowded. Wait a minute. Washington's another interesting team in this division in terms of trade possibilities. They have a lot of moving pieces. You got Kuzma, you got Porzingis, you got Beal. I think this team's probably going to stand pat. They've had a lot of injuries to key guys this year. I don't think they're that far off from being pretty good. If anything, I would think of them as a buyer.
If they do, yeah, I agree.
I think maybe,
but I don't see them making a move.
yeah, I don't either. If they were going to do anything, I would expect them to do some kind of minor acquisition. Like I could see them randomly being a team that acquires Jay Crowder for some reason. Like I could see them doing something weird like that, like just a weird acquisition. Orlando and Charlotte going to kind of bunch those up two together. Look, they're nobodies. I mean, look, Orlando at least has Bonchero. Obviously, they're not going to trade him. I don't know what you would do if you're Orlando here, other than just play out the string. Charlotte, the same thing. I mean, Charlotte has no.
Charlotte's most tradable piece is Oubre, and he's injured.
Right.
So yeah, I don't.
Because you're not going to move Ball.
Right.
If you're Charlotte. So no, it's
and I just don't see that. Oh, geez, in that Dedmon trade, not only did they give up Dwayne Dedmon, who was a decent backup center, but they also threw a second-round draft pick in there. And the Heat are getting back cash. Nothing wrong with cash.
So the Heat are just getting cash, and they're giving away a second-round pick and Dedmon. There you go.
Yeah, cash considerations, because it gives them some space under the tax line to add another player.
There we go.
Which is the only reason they made the trade. And they don't use Dedmon anyway. He averaged, almost 6 and 4? I mean, they barely used him. And that's a team that needs size.
Yeah, it's true. Here's another interesting option. The Pacers. Duarte, Healed, and 3 first-round picks in their war chest. I mean, they could, if they decided, they could make a real splash with those type of assets. Who they would go after. But those are some good assets.
I hear Duarte's name a lot, and I'm curious why. I realize he was an older rookie draft pick. He was 24 last year. But, I mean, he can play. I just don't get it. What am I missing?
No, I agree. I guess the only thing is maybe on that roster as presently constructed, it's hard to find him consistent minutes, because I mean you have, of course, Halliburton, Healed is there. But yeah, I don't know why. Maybe Dylan, who's a big Pacers guy, can kind of fill that in, because I personally, from a kind of a distance,
I asked him, and he said that it wasn't. It wasn't. Then it wasn't. That was the fact that he wasn't getting the time there, and they had no spot for him. He's got a nice size for a guard. He's about 6'5". Can score off the bench. I think someone would be able to use either him or Healed. If they move Healed, then they're going to have a spot for. They're going to have a spot for Duarte. If they move Duarte, it just means they might keep Healed.
Yeah,
because they're not totally out of it yet.
Right, and here's Dylan's response. He's been down to 15 minutes a night. He's almost out of the rotation, and that's because he's not bumping Mathurin or Halliburton, which makes sense.
Right.
And Healed is there too. So yeah, I mean, I guess there's going to be at least one odd man out. I would think it would make sense to move at least one of those two, Duarte or Healed. Probably more Duarte, because Healed a little bit bigger. You can kind of use him as more of a spot up shooter in a forward spot if you need to too. So I think
Healed's 6'4". I don't think he's bigger.
He's longer,
but he is.
He's got longer arms, and he's more of a stationary shooter who doesn't really need the ball in his hand to be effective. He's more of a catch and shoot guy. But yeah, I think maybe both of them get moved. I mean, it does make sense, and perhaps maybe they acquire more draft picks. I mean, 3 first-round picks is a decent amount of picks. It's not Sam Presti territory, but Sam Presti got 3,000 picks.
But does that mean you're not going for it this year? You're not going to try to make a playoff run?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're in that position where it doesn't make a lot of sense to try to go for it. Like, go for it this year. I mean, if you make the playoffs, great. But I think they're still a decent away from being like a real threat. But they're close enough with the assets they have that I think you could make a smaller move and then position yourself to do something again next year too. So we'll see. I think a measured approach is probably best for where Indiana's at right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, let's take our last break. We'll come back, finish it up with some news you can use. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
Alrighty, we are back, and it's time now for some news you can use. What do we got today, Rich?
What do I have today? That's a very good question. I have a couple of quick NHL notes.
All right, what do we got?
The Islanders won their first game last night with Bo Horvat, although he didn't score. They won 2-1 over Philadelphia, and they play their second home game in 2 nights tonight against the Kraken. Other winners last night: Rangers beat Calgary in overtime. New Jersey beat Vancouver in overtime. And this is funny. Jaromir Jagr scored his 1,099th career goal yesterday.
God.
Overseas. And counting exhibition, like World Cups and Olympics and all that, he passed Wayne Gretzky by 1 goal.
Wow.
So he is now the all-time leader in goals.
It took
if
him,
you count all those other goals.
It took him long enough. He's like 60 years old.
Yeah. He's been there a little bit.
Yeah, those records by Wayne are like incomprehensible.
And well, Jager's he's there. He is there. Some news you can use, huh? How about Sean Payton already making a splash?
Uh-oh, what'd he do?
He told Russell Wilson, no, your quarterback coach is not going to be in the building.
Oh.
Not going to happen. He goes, I don't believe in any of that. Last year, Wilson was allowed to bring in his own training staff and his personal quarterback coach, a guy named Jake Heaps, into the facility every day. Peyton said, that's foreign to me. That's not taking place here. I'm unfamiliar with it. Our staff will be here. Our players will be here. And that's it.
Nice. Laying down
Gotta
the law.
love it.
Laying down the law. Throw his guys out in the big old heap. Bye, Mr. Heap. Heaping helping of reality.
Love it.
Coming through. Another bit of news here. There's reports that the Ravens and Lamar Jackson could be as far apart as $100 million in guaranteed money.
Ooh.
I don't even know if he's worth $100 million in guaranteed money.
I was gonna say $100 million would probably be his max.
Yeah, that's gonna be, like I said weeks ago, that's gonna be contentious, potentially almost the type of issue that's going to become a larger than sports issue. I could see like the race baiting crowd trying to like use this as proof of like not liking black quarterbacks or something too. I could see this taking on legs outside of sports is what I'm saying. I think this is going to get really ugly and be very protracted. I really do. Because he's a complicated case. He really is. Like if he was and his representation were of the mindset of getting what was fair, I think this would be done. But they're of the mindset, and there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, of getting what's possible. And to get that, it's going to take a long time. It's probably going to be a different team. It's going to get ugly. I think it's going to be really ugly. I really do. And I don't think he'll be playing for the Ravens if they're trying to maximize dollars. I think they'll be somewhere else. I could see a team like the Jets going after him. I absolutely could.
You think they're going to pay him too?
I do. I think Woody Johnson is of the mindset.
$100 million more than the Ravens are.
It wouldn't surprise. I don't know what I read didn't say what Jackson is asking for.
Okay, but if they're $100 million off, what if they offered him 5 years at $150 million?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Which is $30 million a year.
That's a good, yeah.
Well, if they're $100 million off, that means he'd want $50 million a year.
Right. Maybe. Yeah. If that's what they're offering. Yeah. No, I understand that. But I think he's going to end up somewhere other than the Ravens. And Woody Johnson has been public about his desire to make a splash at that position. So
I thought the splash was possibly going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Nate the Great is can't hack it apparently. We'll see if they can get Aaron Rodgers. I'm not so hopeful. We'll
Jackson
see.
with Nate.
Yes.
I'll never use the words Nate and the one you used in the same sentence.
What could go wrong?
It's just wrong. The word great does not apply to this person.
There we go.
I'm interested, though, in exactly how much he wants.
Yeah, I'd like to know that, too. Because I think my guess is he's probably trying to, like, get, like, Mahomes money. And it's like, dude, you're not that good.
No.
He's, like, a whole crap ton better than you. Like
he's not as good as Herbert or Allen either.
Right. Now, if I could get Lamar Jackson for 5 years and $100 million, or maybe even 100.
Oh, he'll never go for $20 million a year.
150 even. Like if I got the deal you proposed,
that's $30 million a year.
I would I would sign that if I was the Ravens. Because I don't
It's not Mahomes money, but
it's not. And I don't want to marginalize Jackson as this like borderline player either, because he's not. But he's a very different type of player, and he's the type of player that is likely to not age well. So I don't want to sign a 10-year deal, and I'm not paying you 40 or 50 million a year because, you know, you're not Patrick Mahomes, you're not Justin Herbert, you're not Joe Burrow, you're not Josh Allen, you're not one of those guys. You're just not.
True.
All right, we got time for maybe one or two more. Anything else?
Okay, Patrick Mahomes makes a strange promise to Cooper Manning if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Uh-oh.
Mahomes said he would be so excited to win this game that he promised Cooper Manning he will drink Coors Light out of his boots if the Chiefs beat the Eagles.
Out of Cooper's boots or out of Mahomes' own
Yes,
boots?
out of Cooper's boots. Manning will bring the boots and they will both drink Coors Light out of them.
What?
Now,
What are we doing?
now Mahomes specified that 1, it has to be Coors Light. 2, Manning also had to make sure his socks were clean before they drank the beer. Oh my God.
You know, if I wasn't already, I'm definitely rooting for Kansas City now. I hope that's televised. I gotta see that.
Unfortunately, I don't think it will be, but it should.
They should do it at least on Facebook Live or YouTube Live or something like that. Like at least put it out there, like because that's funny as hell.
They should.
Out of boots. Well, what could have prompted him to make that offer? Like, did they discuss
I have no
something like
idea.
this? Because that's so out of left field. Like
they must have. You wouldn't just throw this out.
Yeah,
there.
right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, man, the Mannings are a weird group, man. They really are. They're a funny, they're a funny group of guys.
They are.
Oh, they really are.
Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph is completely done with Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And an insider there said last year that room was a disaster. And they also feel that Jacoby Brissett's going to join that room.
He's gonna
next year. So
he's gonna join the Steelers, Brissett?
Yeah.
Okay. He's a good pickup. He's a solid player. Good backup.
We got time for one more?
We do.
Los Angeles Angels manager Phil Nevin has a warning for the rest of the league about Shohei Ohtani's motivation in 2013.
Uh-oh.
Or 2023, I'm sorry.
That's a long time ago.
Shohei Ohtani was apparently not happy with the way the season ended, and even less happy that he didn't win MVP.
Okay.
With 34 home runs and a 2.33 ERA in 28 starts, he felt he had a better argument than he was given credit for.
You know, I don't have a problem with him feeling that way. I want guys to be pissed.
I don't either. I picked him.
Yep, I remember that.
I didn't buy the Judge hype. Because that's basically just what it was to me, hype.
There you go. Good stuff. Good show today.
Oh, yeah. The whole boot Coors Light thing, though, just... Oh, man.
That's good stuff. That's hilarious.
Some things you don't know what to do with at all. And that is one of them.
That's it. Give him the boot. Oh, what a mess. Oh, that's good stuff. All right. Well, let's get on out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.